Welcome to another edition of Down on the Farm by Fatback Videos. What we're going to do today is get our garden sprinkler tuned up for the spring and ready to go to be able to get some water on our seeds to get them seeds to pop up. What we have here is a Smith Irrigation equipment out of Kansas. I'll give you the website at the end of the video, but it has a big sprinkler with different ends on it, which depending on the kind of water pressure you have, you can even put this on a water wheel and this thing will move. It's got an 1.25 inch pipe, reversible, adjustable arch. And what we're going to do, we're going to convert this, which we already have, but we're replacing it, this 1.25 inch down to a water hose. That's all I have out there near the garden, so I've got an 1.25 inch female adapter, a reducer bushing from 1.25 inch down to 3/4, sorry, and then we're going to take a piece of 2 inches of pipe there, 3/4 pipe, and put this together. Now what I've done is I've taken this, I don't even know what you call this thing, it's a coupling, a brass coupling, and I found a water hose thread, and that's different than pipe thread. And see, on one end of this coupling is pipe thread, the other end is a female water hose thread. You can find this at Home Depot or Lowe's. So what I've got is this is the coupling between this fitting, and to make most water hoses have a male end on it, so we had to put a double female to have this attachment. Your 3/4 male adapter goes there, your piece of pipe, and you screw it on. And that right there, fellas, is how you convert this down to a water hose. And we're going to do this step by step on the video here. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is probably the most important thing to do is to clean and primer all your fittings. Now let me give you a little warning. If you open up a primer can and it doesn't leak out on the top, then the thing's empty. I've never opened one where it didn't just come spilling out. So we're just going to primer, put a good little coat of primer. You even want to do the inside of your fittings. I like doing that and stuff. There we go, we're going to let that dry. Alright, 3 or 4 minutes has gone by and we can feel that they're not tacky anymore. Now I went ahead and opened this can of glue, this new can, because I didn't want everybody to see how weak I am, because it took a vice grip and a 4-foot monkey wrench to get this thing loose. I don't know why they put them so tight. Put a little bit of glue on the inside of this fitting, not a whole lot because you'll just push out. And on the outside of this big side of this reducer bushing that's going to go in this female adapter. What I like to do, I'm no plumber, is I like to give it a little twist as I'm turning it in and let that seat. The next thing we're going to put in is this piece of 3/4 Schedule 40 pipe. It's what connects this bushing to this male adapter. And we're going to put a little bit on this pipe. We're going to turn it in right here, and we're going to let that settle. So what we're going to do, we're going to rebuild this little thread changer here, coupling, I guess that's what you call it. We're going to replace this OEM washer with a rebuild kit. These rebuild kits are pretty cheap, probably about a nickel. This is very important you do, because if you have any leakage, this water will build up wherever you have this sprinkler and wash out all your seeds and make a big mud puddle. So we're going to take this fitting that changes it from pipe thread to water hose thread. One thing I'm going to do this year is, because Fatback is lazy, is I didn't like going to the spigot, turning the water off just to move this thing. So I'm going to put me an inline shutoff valve on this. Alright, that's good and tight. And then I'm going to put my male to female coupling. Make sure it's good and tight. It's got a washer in there. Let's go ahead and replace that because it feels kind of brittle and whatnot. And we'll go ahead and put us a new rebuild kit. We'll make this get tight. The reason is because when you're taking it off that hose all the time, this end right here will want to loosen up while you're doing that. You can see this thing still freewheels. Now we're going to put some Teflon tape on our contraption here. And just so y'all are wondering, there is a patent pending on this. So as long as you don't tell anybody how we did this, we'll be okay. I'm going to put some Teflon tape on this thing, and it makes it a lot easier to put on too. Make sure you don't cross thread this thing. Get it started, but you don't want to break it thread. You don't want to break this fitting either, because then you'll have to build another one, and you'll break it just about 5 minutes after the hardware store closes, and you'll have to wait till tomorrow. Our on and off switch, it's reduced to a water hose, and we've got a big yard hydrant that has a big pipe on it, and this thing will really throw out some water. So we're going to go out to the garden and we're going to test it out on our. We got some beets and collards and mustard greens and some other seeds in the ground. We're going to give it a little water too, so we'll see you in the garden. It's a little bit stuck from sitting over the winter, so we're just going to let it run out here a little while. You can see that shutoff valve makes it a one-man operation. What kind of coverage we do have. You can see we got some collards we transplanted. That's a sprinkler. We could even take this hose if we didn't want to go out there and shut it off and get in the mud and kind of pull it towards us. And if you had a big long row that you needed to water, put it at the farthest end and then you can just wheel it towards you. I think it's a pretty good, they're kind of expensive. You could probably make one yourself pretty easy if you had a pipe bender and a little welder. But that head is what costs so much.